welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP, founder of PJ Stearns, Inc. And today on the program, Tim, going to be talking about one of the tools to help us grow for retirement that is most commonly utilized. But because it's so commonly utilized, a lot of questions, a lot of confusion, and a lot of people maybe just don't get the direction that they need to make the most of this important tool, our 401k or our employer-sponsored retirement plan and option. Well, we appreciate the time and look forward to a great conversation with you, Tim, talking about our 401ks.
Well, let's talk about the most powerful thing that's happened to retirement in the last 40 years or so. We're looking at people, baby boomers. They were the first people to experience the 401k, and that's how we're retiring nowadays. Most people don't have pensions. We're not lucky enough to have that. So it's really the onus is on us. So the 401k, what do we do with it? It's a very powerful tool, and we need to make sure we take care of it because we can also screw it up. So what I mean about that, we'll dive into it a little bit further, but I just think that the 401k is so important to people's retirement, and that with having a plan, if you have accumulation, how to, position it and make sure that the 401k, you get the most out of it is what we're about today.
Well, Tim, because the 401k is so important, you do offer the opportunity if somebody has questions about their 401k, whether it's the current 401k or maybe old 401ks they had left behind, isn't sure if they're making the most of it, taking advantage of the best options, or doing the right things with it, that you will help to review and evaluate and make sure that they make informed decisions moving forward to try to optimize that tool for their financial future. That's a great offer and opportunity because we don't get a whole lot of guidance on the job site about the 401k, ladies and gentlemen. So sometimes it's necessary to seek a little outside counsel, and Tim Stearns, CFP, does offer to do that with you alongside and on your behalf to make the most out of this important tool. If you'd like to take advantage, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. So Tim, why is it important that people get that guidance with the 401k?
Well, do they want to retire?
Right.
Not to be facetious, but that is, getting the compounding of a 401k and your forced savings that's going into there, and then add on the cherry on top that the company that you work for does profit sharing. And that's how we get to the promised land of being retired. But obviously, like I said, you need to make sure that you're picking the right funds. You need to make sure that if you're late in your career, you're not taking undue risk. We see that all the time in here. That 13-year bull market that ended in 2021 at the end of it, and then 2022, we hit the skids, where the market was down, and now we've bounced back up, and people are still taking more risks than they really should. And if you are over 59 and a half, there's a loophole that you can actually take money out and put it into an IRA and kind of be in charge of your own future, or you could give it to an advisor. We do that with many of our clients. That way we're doing active, dynamic money management with stop losses, maybe writing some covered calls and puts on the underlying investment, things that, are going to put some brakes on that portfolio so you don't lose the money that you did in 2022. You have that do-over right now, and the power is there for you.
And those kind of strategies, Tim, not available inside the 401k itself, which is why at 59 and a half, it is now allowable to take that in-service distribution, because companies and the government alike realize that maybe holding retirement money captive for those that were at or near traditional retirement age was not necessarily the best thing in the best interest of those individuals who were at that phase in life.
Exactly. The government realizes that all your eggs in one basket is probably not the best idea. 2008 taught us that, 2022 taught us that. So how do you take control of your own future? Do an in-service distribution. It's funny. We had a guy calling from the show about a month ago, and he had brought that idea to his advisor. And the advisor with a big company said, well, yeah, just figure it out. And we can open up an IRA for you and we'll get the money in there. That's not how we do it here. We actually help the person get the money out of their current 401k and into a better investment after we've analyzed it. That's key to show people why you're going to move off the mark. Well, for example, you lost X and we lost maybe a little bit less, but at least you have control of your retirement and you know exactly what your fees are. There are fees in 401ks. I think a lot of people think that it's a free ride. There is no free ride on investments like that.
Yeah.
So, let's take a look underneath the hood, if you will, and see what that's all about.
And Tim, when you say better, it is about the additional control, the choice, the control of what you have to invest in rather than the set menu of a handful of mutual funds. You've got the spectrum of the financial world. You could go with stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, or any kind of investment option out there. You can begin to better control your tax status and future tax liability and the cost and expenses. Maybe a little bit more transparent. Maybe you can identify where there are costs and expenses where, as you stated, and as 60 Minutes did an expose on, the fees inside of 401ks are often very hard to identify, but don't be fooled. They are there. And it sometimes takes consultation with a professional such as yourself to really uncover what those fees and expenses inside of the 401k are. But it's about determining your own destiny and outcome by taking control and ownership of your dollars. Because with an IRA, you are the owner. With the 401k, Tim, you are a participant in the company's plan. It's their plan, and you're just participating in it. It's about retirement time, or as early as possible beforehand, that we want to take control to better establish the plan and better determine our own outcome.
Well, I mean, do you want to be a passenger or the driver? I always want to be the driver. So you want to make sure that you're going to get to where you want to go, which is a good retirement. Make sure that you are doing a in-service distribution. I've done it with most of my siblings. The reason being is that they want to make sure that, if it got screwed up, it's on their end, not on being a passenger in a 401k that's really not performing well. We see this even with target date funds. People are flooding their money into there, and that's great. It really does serve a purpose. But if you're over 59 and a half, get your money out of there and put it in something that has stop losses, have covered calls and puts and hedging on the underlying investments so you don't lose all that money right at the end of your careers.
Well, if again, you would like a review of your 401k, one of the most commonly utilized and maybe most important tools that we have to build for retirement, pick up the phone and give Tim Stearns, CFP, a call. Happy to help you review and evaluate your plan, your choices, your investment options inside of the plan, and then any alternatives, even with current or former 401ks. So 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256, the number to call. And Tim, as an added bonus, you talk about 401ks in your book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. 401ks are part of that riddle. How do we make the most of them? What do they represent for us in retirement? How much risk are we exposed to? How much can they take a loss? A lot of questions there when it comes to the 401k as part of that retirement riddle. But your book addresses those and talks about the steps to take to have a more predictable, confident financial future. And you make that book available to listeners to the program.
Well, yeah, anybody with over $500,000 worth of assets that would like to get the book into their hands, the first 10 callers with over $500,000 in investable assets will get the book out to them. It kind of spells out how to get through this modern retirement, which I think is laced with potholes. Like if you do something here, it affects your Medicare. You do something there, it's going to affect what you get back in Social Security. These are all things that go within a plan. So the book kind of spells that out. Our classes, our workshops do the same thing. Give us a call and get educated on how to retire properly. Because I think even the people out there who are do-it-yourselfers don't realize some of the potholes that are out there. You can only read so much. Come and see us. We don't charge for our time and get educated.
Yep. Again, not against 401ks in any way. They
No.
are maybe one of the best and most powerful tools for planning for retirement, but you got to understand your 401k. And if you would like to do that and get a copy of the book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Again, Tim, not against the 401ks here. In fact, we encourage you, utilize them, make the most of them. They are a powerful tool for a number of reasons. So, Tim, let's get into it. What are the pros? What are the benefits? What are the reasons why we should utilize the 401k and make the most out of it that we possibly can?
Well, we talk about this in the book. I mean, the match is what it's all about. If you are getting a match on what you put in, you see like up to 3% of your salary, they'll give you 50% on your money. I mean, that's a 50% return in 1 year. How can you beat that? But after that, we talk about people putting money somewhere else because you're building basically a tax time bomb, right? You're going to defer all this money, and then down the road when you retire, you're going to be taxed on it. That being said, what else about a 401k Roth that we like? We love that idea. The taxes are going to go up. That's what everyone in my classes, my workshops talk about. So why wouldn't you want to get into something now that would be tax deferred and you'll never pay taxes on it again?
Yeah. So tax benefits, not only for the traditional tax deductible 401k,
Yep.
but more and more 401ks are offering that Roth option where you can go ahead and prepay your taxes. And in today's world, it is a decision which one is going to be best for your financial future. That alone is something to talk with a financial professional about who can help you crunch the numbers, make the projections, and show you down to where the rubber meets the road. What ultimately are you paying in taxes? And then what do you make of that? What do you get to keep from your money? And how can you project out what is there for you in retirement? So that alone, again, a very important decision. The employer matching, the tax benefits, all great pros, all great benefits of the 401k, Tim, as well as higher contribution limits. We can save more inside of a 401k
And then
than we
anywhere else.
can in an IRA and on our own. And by the way, when we say 401k, there are some other plan letters and numbers, some alphabet soup like the 403bs, the TSPs. Those kind of fall into this category as well, where we've got these higher contribution higher amounts that we can put in and invest for ourselves and for our future on an annual basis. That's another benefit of these plans.
Exactly. I mean, take control of your own future by stuffing away as much money as you can. When my wife first started working, we put, I max out mine every year, but with her being a teacher, we would try to see what we could put into the account. We have 3 boys, but our joke was give till it hurts, right? Well, we never stopped, and now we max out every year, just for the sake of getting that tax deferral for now. For the sake of getting the match and all that good stuff, you have to do that. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. After that, then if you still have money left over, then look around at other things, and we can help people with that too. But when you're looking at those underlying funds, it can be daunting, and the target date funds, again, are not a silver bullet. They still went down in 2022, 2008. You want to keep going. I mean, they do have their holes in them. So maybe picking up some individual funds, we help people with that as well. It's all about, trying to help people get educated. I don't think a lot of people understand how their 401k works or doesn't work. And 2022 was a tough year on a lot of people. So maybe you're not invested in the right thing, and we can help you with that.
And I think there's 2 sides to that particular option, specifically with the target date or the life cycle fund. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in detail, Tim. But having the 401k with the automatic contributions, the fact that the investment happens before we even bring home and see the money, really helps to ensure that it gets done, because sometimes we have a habit of, if we see the money, if we've got access to it, maybe it might not get invested otherwise.
Yeah, the forced savings is just so monumental to getting to a good retirement. Do it. Just sign up for it. The Secure Act 2.0 is automating that and making people join in there and getting a match on their own. But, take control of your own future. I mean, if you're out there and you think that the government's going to take care of you, and I don't think a lot of our listeners are those people, then shame on you, and you get moving and get into your own, retirement. And, like I can't say it more, get involved, that you want to make sure that your retirement's going to be a good one. You have one shot at an ideal retirement. We talk about that all the time, Peter.
Yeah. And not only higher contribution limits this year, if you are under 50, you can save $23,000.
Yep.
And if you're over 50, you've got the $7,500 catch up provision plus the match or profit share or safe harbor. So you can get a significant amount in there. But also, Tim, for higher income earners, they may not receive the benefits of tax deductions when they make IRA contributions, or may even be income eliminated from being able to make Roth IRA contributions. The 401k does not have those limits and limitations. Anyone can participate if they're being offered a plan, right?
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. If you want to do a Roth, if you're an individual, the income level is so low that you get phased out pretty quickly. For a couple, it's not much better. So when I'm looking at 401k Roths and 403b Roths, I mean, that's the place to be if you can do it. So like I said, you get the match on that amount too. A lot of people think it's a different beast. I mean, it's one or the other though, right? You're going to do a 401k Roth or you're going to do a 401k, the plain vanilla one, but you'll still get the match. But I like the ability to maybe grow your money tax deferred, that it won't hurt you down the road when you're taking money out and hurting what you have to pay for Medicare through IRMA, which we educate people on as well. There's just so many different nuances that, like I said, you're doing something over in this sphere and you don't realize that it's affecting you down the road in another sphere. And that's what working with a certified financial planner practitioner like us, we see the full landscape, and that's what you need to have.
Yeah. And an important point there that you mentioned that I think does bear repeating is that if you've got the option for the Roth inside of your 401k, you could choose either side, tax deferred or Roth. If your company is offering a match, they're still going to match you. They're nice enough to offer that match regardless of whether or not you choose to pay your taxes ahead of time or later down the road. Now, most companies are not nice enough to pay the tax on their matching dollars for you. So their match will typically, Tim, go into the tax deferred side, even if you choose the Roth option. But either way, they're still going to offer that match. I think that's a common misconception. People think that I have to defer taxes to get the company match. That's not the case. You can choose Roth and still receive the match, right?
Yes. And, give us a call and we'll explain to you exactly how that works. And obviously, we also have our book. If you're over $500,000 worth of investable assets, give us a call and we'll get the book into your hands. There's so many different things in there. We talk about 401ks being one of them. The other thing is talking about old 401ks.
Yep.
I did a workshop in Schaumburg the other day, and a woman came up to me afterwards and she said, I've got 3 other 401ks that, I don't even know where they are or how to get to them. I know the name of the companies. Well, guess what? We're helping her track them down right now. She's paying fees redundantly throughout all 3 of those. So why not, funnel it down into one IRA that she can have that we can help her manage, and manage risk in that. And, she helping her figure out exactly where she stands. I mean, she didn't even know what the values were. These are important things, and you're paying fees on each one of those. There is no free lunch. I cannot say that more.
Yeah. And retirement is also not free, which is why we encourage you, if you've got the ability, if you've got access to it, take advantage of the 401k. An important tool for getting money put away to build for your financial future, the benefits, the employer match, the tax benefits, the automatic systematic savings, the investment growth, right? Is that this vehicle, the 401k, offers access to investments where you can have compound growth over time and diversification opportunities, although albeit inside of 401ks, that can be somewhat limited. You are limited by the number of funds that your company allows you to choose from. But still, in general, some good options inside of the 401k for growth while you're in the investment and accumulation phase. But you do need some guidance on that to make sure that you are making the best decisions, most appropriate decisions for where you are at and your goals and expectations and your tolerance for risk. So if you'd like that help, that assistance, pick up the phone and give Tim Stearns, CFP, a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. All right, Tim. So we've talked about a lot of the pros, the benefits of 401ks, but there are two sides to the coin here. There's always some negatives that go along with the positives of any financial option. So you've touched on it a couple times, these target date funds. The way that I sort of view these is they put autopilot inside of cruise control. It's like, automatic within automatic, but sometimes if everything's too automated, maybe it's not adjusting for conditions in real live time. And that is something that we find with those target date funds.
Well, for example, the Vanguard 2015 fund lost about 14% in 2022. So they are not foolproof. And they, all they do is if there's volatility, if the stock side goes down, they're going to add some more from the bond side. And that doesn't really give you diversification, and it doesn't really move you out of harm's way as people are seeing. So what I always tell people is maybe take a look at the individual funds within the plan and build a portfolio. And if that's a daunting task for you, give us a call and we'll help you with it. We're happy to give back to people because we understand that knowledge is power, and knowing exactly how to fix your retirement is such a great thing to help people with.
Tim, my sort of analogy here is that on the freeway, the speed limit's 65. On the city streets, it's like 45. You go into a school zone, it's like 35. And if you're on cruise control with auto steering and in that target date fund, for the analogy, we would automatically follow those speed limits as we entered those different areas. However, there's a big difference between a dry, sunny day and then a day where it's pouring down rain or there's ice on the road, right? And maybe we shouldn't even go that posted speed limit if conditions would not dictate that is the optimal speed to be going, whereas the target date fund really does not make those adjustments. It's going to go the posted speed limit regardless.
Right. So I'll ask you, what's in your wallet? That is the commercials we see now. What's in your portfolio? How much risk are you actually taking? I don't think most people know that. And so we will actually do a riskalyze, we call it, on the person's portfolio to see exactly where they come in at. And then we also ask them in a survey, where are you as far as risk? Do you like a lot of risk, a little risk? The numbers seldomly match up. And they don't realize exactly what they're doing to themselves as they're nearing retirement. That can be really terrible.
Tim, we also know that 401ks do have risk inherent. And you've mentioned this a couple of times. We certainly don't want to see a number of years, a large portion of our life savings washed away, especially in the home stretch toward retirement. But in general, 401ks leave us exposed and susceptible to taking those losses. And likewise, do not necessarily guarantee us a confident, stable income once we do retire.
Yes, it's not a guarantee. So we always tell people when you're done with the 401k, you move it out into your own plan so that you're keeping an eye on it. And, hopefully you have an advisor helping you so you can really make sure that, the strategies are correct for where you are. I see so many people with 80% in stocks at the age of 65 years old as they're getting ready to retire, way too much risk. Even if you're using modern portfolio theory, which is what we call 100 minus your age is what you should have. That person right there in that example, 65 years old, and he's got 80% in stocks. That's not the way it should be. And again, I just don't want to see someone who's about to retire have the rug pulled out from underneath them as the market does a correction.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the big parts of the retirement riddle, Tim, is that this generation, has done a good job, maybe better than any other generation, in building and saving and investing and getting that lump sum built up for retirement, and yet is more uncertain and unconfident about retirement than any generation before, because the 401k is not a pension. It does not offer the same kind of promise and guarantees or dependency for the income reliability as the pensions once offered. And on day one of retirement, we've got this large lump sum build up, but the question is still, how can I make sure I have enough income and can make my money last? And that's the inherent riddle with the 401ks.
The riddle is, why don't I have a plan? 9 out of 10 baby boomers want to have a plan, and 9 out of 10 of them don't. That's a fact. So this 401k is one component of it, and that's what we're talking about today. But all these things fall in line for a great plan, strategy wise. So give us a call, and let us know what we can help you with. We don't charge for our time. I'll say that again, but I think that, it does help get your handle on your 401k and, most importantly, your retirement.
Well, if you would like to have help and assistance in solving that modern retirement riddle, Tim Stearns does make his book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, available to callers to the program, as well as putting together the written plan. If your retirement is a 401k, that's a great tool, but it is not truly a plan. The plan shows you when and how all of the tools come together to give you the lifestyle that you envision for your financial future. Talking about the risks that you're taking, the fees that you're paying, the taxes that you may be liable for, how to optimize Social Security and the income cash flow rate that your savings and investments can generate for you. All of these go into that Protect and Grow plan. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like that written plan put together, pick up the phone now, give Tim Stearns a call, request the time and the opportunity to sit down for that complimentary review, that retirement planning strategy session, as well as a copy of the book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. The number to call is 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. You can also skip the phone call altogether, go online, always available, and you can get in touch through the website, tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. Classes throughout the area, office conveniently located in Arlington Heights. Tim, you are a resource for Chicagoland area savers and investors, helping them make better, more informed decision for a more confident financial future. And we appreciate you each and every week here on the show.
Thanks, Peter. I look forward to next week doing it again.
Well, we always do appreciate the opportunity to share time with Tim Stearns, to share in the knowledge that he provides for us proactive planners here on the program. And if you would like to get that plan put together, your Protect and Grow plan, pick up the phone and give a call. 800-640-2256. Tim, next week we'll see you same time, same place.
Thanks, Peter.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Investment advisory services offered through Cornerstone Securities, LLC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals or growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.